how to do the Yoyoi Kusama project on Photoshop. First step, you're going to open up Photoshop, which should be in your dock. If it's not, search for it. You're going to create new and choose default. Then go to Google and type in coloring pages. There you'll find thousands and thousands of images. Make sure you're on the image page of coloring pages. I'm going to choose Baby Yoda. I click first to make it nice and large, and then you need to click, hold, drag, drop to your desktop. If you can't drag it to the desktop, take a screenshot, Shift Command 4, and it will appear on your desktop. You can also control click and save image as and save it to your desktop. Any of those three will work. Then you're going to drag it into your Photoshop, and that X is there so you can size it. Hit return to make it go away. Now you need to find the paint bucket. In Photoshop, sometimes the paint bucket is not available in the tools. So if that happens, if you don't see the paint bucket, then go up to Help, which is up on the top. If you put your mouse on the top, you'll see the Help button. Type in Paint Bucket. So you can see I'm typing in Paint Bucket, and then once you do that, Get Help on Paint Bucket. And when I click Get Help on Paint Bucket, the paint bucket will appear in the toolbar. Just as an FYI, at the bottom of the toolbar where those three horizontal dots are, down here, sometimes the paint bucket can also be found there. Once you have your paint bucket tool, you are going to select the square in your toolbar. Upper left square is whatever color your paint bucket will be. So you can see in my tools at the bottom that my square is green, and so therefore my paint bucket will turn everything green. If it asks you OK, hit OK. And now with green selected and my paint bucket, I can paint bucket inside of my coloring page. I am going to color in certain parts of him, and then I'm going to change the color just a little bit. So I'm go back to that square in the tools. I'm going to choose a different shade of green. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go back and make sure you're selected on the paint bucket in the tools, and you can see I'm going to change it again. I'm going to go back to that upper left square. This time I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use pink or a blue. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe a purple. You can choose any color you want, and then you hit OK, and you repeat the process. Okay, so once you've colored it in, you're ready for your polka dots. You want to go to the paintbrush tool. Be careful not to select the magic brush. You want the paintbrush. The paintbrush is about 7 down. That's the one I'm selected on. And then on the top, you want to adjust the size of your brush. Just play around with it. I'm going to choose, let's see, I'm going to go up a little bit to maybe the 30s or 40s. You decide what size. And then I'm going to click and make my polka dots. I'm going to speed this up. Remember that once you fill it with your polka dots, you can go back to your tools, change your color, and add some different colored polka dots. I'm going to do that in high speed as well. Now, something to keep in mind is that using the toolbar on the top, you can actually change the type of brush that you are using. And there's really no right or wrong way to do it. I'm just going to kind of play around. I'm going to go into these different folders. There's dry brushes. There's all sorts of fancy brushes. You can also adjust the opacity on the top to make your brush more see-through or darker. It's really up to you. And by playing around with these brushes, it gives a little bit more interest. This looks like a splatter paint brush. And, if you don't like it, that's what your history tool is for. You can always go up a step or undo what you've done, or you can edit undo. But I'm going to just play around with these different brushes. I'm going to speed it up. The end of the class period ends, hit the red button and save and name it, and then make sure it's on the desktop and then put it in your folder. You can also screenshot it, which is always helpful, and email the screenshot to yourself. And when you are absolutely done, screenshot and turn it into Otis.